right, guys, so we are here doing more of a bonus episode at the Geekscape booth. Obviously, apologies for any of the noise because we are at a convention, possibly one of the biggest. I don't know, San Diego Comic Con. It's pretty big.
We're
pretty
at
big
the convention.
Show. We're a pretty big spot. But I had to sit down and talk with my friend Heidi. Heidi, so I met you literally a year ago yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what Facebook informed me. Yesterday was our 1 year friendship, so we'll start off with one of those.
Awesome.
But
happy friendiversary.
Yes. From the very first time I met you, you were like, you like bad horror movies? I was in the worst horror movie. And people say that a lot. People tell me all the time that I saw the worst horror movie. And then they just tell me about a moderately bad movie.
And they've been doing it all weekend because Matt is talking about horror movie night, and people are like, "Oh, have you ever seen blank?" And we look at him like, "Bitch, please."
Yeah. But
I mean, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you.
We'll see, but so, and this is nothing against you, but a lot of people, especially if it's a movie that they're in, they're like, "Oh, it's in the worst movie," and what they're talking about is they weren't happy with their performance or something. But no, this was this is literally, and I can say this because I love you and because you gave me the heads up. This is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
I win. We win! Did you hear that, Richard Clark Jr.? We win!
For horror movies, absolutely. Now, action-wise, you have yet to see Death Run to Istanbul.
No, I still got to see that.
Oh my god, I'm so excited that you watched it. I was actually terrified last year to show it to you, but then I thought, whatever.
Because his standards are clearly so high.
So, what I do want to ask you, though, is, as we're sitting here, also John's here, that random voice that's just chatting over my shoulder like a fucking parrot is John. I never get the opportunity to actually talk to people about starring in a bad movie. I had the opportunity at Monster Mania. We got to talk to a girl who was one of the she built the walrus costume for Tusk. Wow. So it was cool to hear about her side of that. I want to know your side of what was it like to do this movie? Did you know you were in a bad movie from the start, or did it kind of just slowly, as the movie went on, start to kind of come to you I don't think this is going to be very good?
I pretty much knew it wasn't going to be amazing, but as it went on, I was like, oh, this is not good. I feel guilty almost saying it because I love the people that I worked with. I haven't seen them in years. I have no idea what's happened to most of them, but and I don't know about starring in.
I'm guessing they found other forms of work.
I don't know. I didn't really star in this movie. I had a little, I guess would be technically a co-star role in it. But I did get to die on screen. But even then, they had a whole special effect that they wanted to do where they used an air cannon and you would see my brains blown out on the, spoilers, on the wall. But it wasn't working. So, and I was so miserable. I remember that day. I was miserable. It was hot because we shot this in South Carolina, which is where I'm from. So it was the very early South Carolina film community, and everyone wanted to be in this movie. Everyone was so excited, and we shot it in this tiny little town. And it was in a cotton mill that we were shooting this death scene in the summer when it was so humid. And I remember crying because I was so miserable. It was just really rough. Yeah, but.
Well, but it's funny. Your character is actually really weird to me in the movie. From a storytelling standpoint, your character is never on screen for more than 30 seconds per scene.
Right.
But you're the last person to die in the movie. It's almost like they were building you. Yeah, it's almost like they were building you to be the survivor girl, but they didn't want to write enough scenes.
Well, no, that's true because I don't know about that, but I remember that only part of the script was done, and that was when I knew it was bad, was when he started going, okay, we're just going to shoot some stuff, I'm going to tell you what to do, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, because your role would be reserved for the...
In their defense, I've heard the same thing about the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3.
That's true. Your character...
I know, yeah. You have the story. She could survive, but nah, it's more fun to kill her.
Yeah, they gave you you were they were building you as if you were the Ripley from Alien at the end of this movie, but you were only in the movie for 7 minutes prior.
Well, and they introduced me. The first thing they say about me is that she sure is fun to look at, but she's not much to talk to. So the guy really knew how to write female roles, But
he's working on the next Wonder Woman movie now.
I didn't speak very much in it either. Like, I had very few lines, and people were always calling me sweetheart, and it was just like I was like some stupid ditzy girl that hated her job that was always on the phone, you know.
And did they write the phone dialogue, or did you just have to riff that out?
I made it up. But it would have been that would have been such a good idea to have her be the one that survives, because you wouldn't expect it, right?
Or everyone dies around her and she's just on the phone.
Yeah.
I think they clearly would have written you more roles if you were like, I want to act with a cigar in my mouth the entire damn movie, to the detriment of anything that I could possibly communicate to an audience.
Yeah, can we talk about the cigar mouth?
Yeah, but I feel bad. I don't remember his name. The man.
His name is Cigar Mouth.
Yeah. So the man who played the sheriff. Yeah, I remember. Was one of the first things that made me think this may be not a good movie. Was just these like local. Well, it's a lot of us local. At the time, I was doing a lot of theater too, and it was a lot of us local actors, and that were mostly doing theater, and like we get so excited, and we
You just can't hide it.
That would be my first sign too.
But the man who played the sheriff insisted on the entire time having a cigar in his mouth, and I used to rip on him about it. I'd be like, "What are you doing?" You know, and he's like, he just would laugh, and he'd wait till it would get all matted and gross and short, and he'd put it like in the trash and pull out another one. He spoke almost all of his lines with a cigar in his mouth. It was like Boss Hogg, but worse, because Boss Hogg took the cigar out of his mouth to talk. Like,
we were shocked when there was like 2 scenes that didn't involve a cigar.
I know. I was so surprised. At the funeral, there was a funeral scene.
And then there's one scene where they find the little kid under the bridge.
My guess is that he ran out of them. That was he just didn't have any more.
2 scenes.
No, he had a prop master. It was his own props.
He goes over to a nearby tree and starts chewing on it.
So was it shot? I guess I joked that those were the last 2 scenes shot, but was this movie shot in order, or was this one where they shot it like a normal movie, like when they could?
Kind of in order. I mean,
because you said the last 30 pages were MIA. So.
Yeah, it was. That part was shot pretty much in order, and it was. I could just see them going, why don't we just kill them like this? Oh, why don't we kill them like that? Why don't we? You know, it was just they knew how they wanted to kill me, but after a while, and all the other kids and stuff, and spoilers, people die in this movie.
A lot of people die in this movie.
Yeah, at the very end, in this
motivation
really
unknown
funny way. You know, but if I remember correctly, because it was a while ago, yeah, we pretty much shot it in order. Pretty much, it took about a week or 2 weeks.
This was a movie in which I made 3 joke guesses of who the killer was, and I was right all 3 times.
I know we're bagging on this movie, but I've rarely, while sitting watching a movie, have exclaimed, "This is pretty tight," as many times as I did during this movie. Because you know what? At the end of the day, this movie's kind of tight.
I actually am genuinely sad that this isn't even a movie. Yeah, it's not available anywhere, because this would be like Scott and Adam are dodging a bullet. It's a great episode for the podcast. It would be one of those movies that, like, if they did an actual release, it would have that Troll 2 type following.
Let's get on it.
Let's talk to Scream Factory.
Yeah, guys, come on, like Geekscape us, get it, find. Okay, Richard Clark.
Make a petition.
Richard Clark Jr. I have no idea where he is, and I'm trying to find out. The name of the movie is Serial. Have we even said that?
Yeah, it's called Serial, which great name for a movie. It's super difficult to track down any movie just by searching Serial.
Right.
Okay, but you can go to my IMDb, and I'm credited as Harley Shaw.
Say IMDb.
Yeah, so you can go to Heidi Cox, and you can find it on IMDb, but then we've got to figure out who these people are, because I can't find them anywhere. I mean, I know 2 of the actors that were in it still, but that's about it.
This is what we want to do. We want to put out an APB on the director, which you can find through IMDb, and then find them on any social media you might be on. And we also want to look for Cigar Mouth.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys, we got to find them.
Yo, John, I'm just saying, we keep expanding Geekscape and all these different things. I think it's time for Geekscape to put out a DVD.
Not a Scream Factory, does it? No. We'll talk to Scream Factory. You've done them enough favors, Matt Kelly.
What? I don't know.
No, I was saying we should release the scary movie. The Geekscape brand production company.
We might do it on Pirates Bay or BitTorrent.
I couldn't even find it there, so yeah, that's a step in the right direction.
Clark Jr., we're looking for you, and I'm still the signal is so awful in here. It's taking my IMDb forever to So.
That should be the next. When you're done stalking LeVar, you should do like Finding Richard.
I know,
Clark
right?
Jr.
That would be amazing.
You guys have talked about all the characters that you guys like. My favorite is the principal, who is also a pedophile and hangs out.
That guy, I know where he is. That's Vic Aviles. And he did theater with me back in South Carolina.
That was a character that I thought they could have done more with that character, because he's like principal by day, and then you have this, and he's really weird, but then you have this one scene where he's just hanging around this playground, and he's like, "Hey kids, where's your mom?"
Like,
and I was like, nothing is good about this. This is not good. And then it never ties in again.
So the actor who played the sheriff is John Burcham.
John Burcham is an actor known for Serial.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing that he's listed as being in.
Yeah, John's tight as hell.
Vic is the only one with the photo for Principal Ross.
Vic, you're tight as hell, bro.
And me. I think that's it. But the director is Richard Clark Jr. The writer is Richard Clark Jr. And I remember him. He was such a nice guy. And he had a lot of interesting ideas. He even had a TV series idea. So I just can't find him. I've been trying.
Was it serialized cereal?
There's a kid just like Dustin, and he looks awesome.
No, he wanted to do like a Dawson's Creek kind of thing. It was back in the day, so...
Yeah, but like the ending of this movie is so batshit crazy.
Yeah.
It makes so little sense. But I think I solved it, but I think I solved it with more like actual effort than any person on the writing team put into this movie.
So anyway, the cinematographer / DP was Kent Allen too, and I remember him well. They were both very kind.
Was it his VHS recorder you guys were using to make the movie?
No, I have no idea what camera he used.
He had like one of those old crank ones.
It was before. It was before the SLRs became video capable.
We know. Oh, we know.
Look like some redneck.
It would be really fun. Like this could be a really fun movie to be like a cult. Like I don't
would
know.
Absolutely make people watch this movie. Like I have no problem forcing this on people.
Yeah.
I've watched scenes from Belly of the Beast 5 times in the last 2 weeks. I got no problem.
Adam Scott, run, please! You gotta run before this thing gets widespread.
Hey guys, come hang out with me sometime, guys. I haven't seen you in a while. I got a movie for you.
Yeah. Oh, and the cinematographer also edited the movie, so that should be pretty easy finds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So we're looking for John Burcham, Richard Clark Jr., Kent Allen, and I can find Vic Aviles, although I sent him a message. He didn't get back to me.
He might be one to forget that this movie happened.
Yeah.
He saw the word cereal and he had some like Vietnam flashback at his desk.
I'm embracing it.
You should, because it's great. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching it with. It was really fun to watch it with you guys. And Derek, too. At least you guys stayed awake.
Derek mentioned it in his article.
I stayed awake through some of it.
If Jonathan sits still for more than like 2 seconds, he falls asleep. And there are a couple of scenes that were a little low key, we'll say.
The whole movie was perfect.
I look over and he's like...
I'm like Sonic the Hedgehog. If I don't keep running, I go to sleep pretty fast.
It's kind of true. That's why you have that fidget spinner now. Thanks to Eric Swain from Funimation.
All right, well, thank you so much, Heidi. I'm not sure if you want this tied to this episode, but if people want to see other stuff that you've been a part of that are way better than Serial, where can they go and check that out?
Oh, I don't mind at all. I have a YouTube channel. It's Dweeb Darlings, which is also a website, dweebdarlings.com. We have a show called Stalking LeVar, Levar, as in LeVar Burton. It's about a girl in search of a very important person, and we're actually teaming up with Geekscape. Dweeb Darlings is teaming up with Geekscape to make a short film to wrap up the whole story of Stalking LeVar. Jonathan London directing, so it should be fun. I'm excited.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so I'm at the Geekscape booth. I'm handing out flyers. The Monster Squad's going to be here in just a couple minutes, and a whole camera crew from SyFy just rolled up to talk to him, and I got talking to this guy, Ben. Hey. And Ben works for SyFy. He was a former editor at SyFy, and we just started geeking out about all different types of horror movies, so I figured I got the recording device. I'm doing some content for the website anyway. tell me a little bit about like your horror background working with SyFy, or just like what made you a horror fan.
Oh God! Well, first of all, I love having the shit scared out of me. Can I say shit?
Yeah,
that's great. As a kid, I carry that anxiety with me today, and I want to replicate that childlike anxiety in everything I do. Campy horror became my thing, I think, in high school.
It's the best kind of horror.
Where I realized that being scared is one thing, but really appreciating how awful something so grand can be was so liberating. So I think I fell in love with stuff like Critters.
Which definitely had a home on SyFy as a child.
Like in Tremors and stuff like that. And you can see how those movies kind of spiraled out of control. I miss the days when like the fifth one of anything always took place in space.
Yeah, there was always the outer space episode of a movie. There's always like the evolution of the creature, where all of a sudden there's like a brand new mythos that they have to bring in to keep it fresh.
Yeah, or suddenly there are 5 of them, or anything like that. It's like, well, one of them's not scary enough anymore. Now they have to be like in a posse. They need an entourage. Alien entourage, Predator entourage, the Critter entourage, of course. I think that giant critter ball is one of the most iconic scenes from any movie.
Yeah, Critters 2 is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I love
insane.
it. And Critters 4 I didn't like as a kid, but I actually think that that's one of the better ones in that franchise too now.
Yeah.
The one that's actually in outer space.
Yeah. Oh, and then especially in the 90s, everything also took place in the hood.
Yes.
So like the third one was in the hood. Which I guess became offensive on every level.
Yeah, on every level.
Yeah.
Except for Tales from the Hood, which should be an offensive movie, and it's one of the most socially aware and brilliant like horror films ever made.
Yeah. It's a good litmus test too. When the people who shut off, talking about it or want to back away from that conversation, they just they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because that movie, like, people are giving a lot of attention to Get Out and all the stuff that it's done about like social awareness in that sense, but Tales from the Hood got there first, guys.
Oh, yeah, and it's brilliant.
It is.
It should never be remade.
No.
Yeah.
Scream Factory just put it out on Blu-ray a few months ago, and I remember watching it and being like, this movie still works. In every story is scary. It's got the best wraparound of any anthology film.
Yeah.
Like, Tales from the Hood is amazing and super underappreciated.
See, I'm excited to hear it's on Blu-ray. I only have the VHS.
Yeah, because the DVD was like $40
used. It was it was disgusting. But this means I could get rid of my VHS player finally.
Yeah, you were holding out for just that one title.
I want something that's just marginally slimmer on my bookshelf.
Well, yeah, the Blu-ray is fantastic.
I
think it might be a 2-discer.
Really?
I think if I'm
special features.
Yeah,
or
tons of special features.
Replace all the dialogue with something that is overly PC.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah,
it's a PG version of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. For the kids. For the kids, everybody needs one.
So, what are you doing now? I know you told me that you were doing like trailer stuff for SyFy. Are you allowed to tell me what you're doing now for SyFy, or is that kind of we need to bring PR in for it?
I need to bring PR in, but I can tell you what we're doing here at the con.
That works. What are you doing here at the con?
We've got 1,000 things going on. We have panels. We have street teams that's sort of celebrating this new, we're calling it a brand reboot that takes it away from the network and gives it back to the fans. So we're just trying to meet the people who are living and breathing this stuff and, making their voices heard, giving them experiences, and saying it's not about us anymore.
Okay, I like that though.
Yeah, well, it's a part of like the 25th birthday of SyFy celebration, and we're like any 25-year-old, we shouldn't celebrate ourselves on our birthday.
We should celebrate
over.
The people.
Celebrate
the people that made you get to
25.
Totally.
So let's have a good time and celebrate the universe we joined, and not the one that we created, right?
Well, because most of the people here, like I told you earlier, I was raised on SyFy.
Yeah.
Without SyFy, I wouldn't have had a love for Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and The Prisoner. I used to watch The Prisoner on SyFy.
So good.
Like that, they really early days of SyFy were so cool because they would tap into these old vintage SyFy shows, and then they would do these like week events of like. I remember that's the first time I saw Alligator was they did like Creature Feature Week, and it was every day was a different creature feature.
Yep, and then we had creatures fighting each other.
Yeah, then it evolved to that.
And then they had creatures mashing up. I think Sharktopus is probably the best title of any creature mashup.
I agree with that.
I think phonetically it's a beautiful a beautiful thing to say. It rolls off the tongue.
I really like. I just like the sound of it was like Mega Snake versus Giant
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't even remember how to say that one.
But it's like, it's such especially the trailer leading up to it, where it's like, you're sitting there and you're like, what movie is this going to... What? I know this is going to be something versus something.
Yeah.
And then it just hits you and you're like, this is insanity.
Yeah. And I know everybody's all about Sharknado. And
I was not a fan of Sharknado.
Like, I have...
It was too self-aware.
I have my love for it. I think where they hit the right balance of self-awareness and schlock was actually the Sharknado spin-off, Lavalantula.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was in the same universe as Sharknado, but it was about giant lava-spewing spiders attacking L.A., but it was the Police Academy reunion movie.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because you had Steve Guttenberg back, and I didn't realize how much I had missed him. Because everybody always asks, like, oh, what's Steve Guttenberg doing these days? I could tell you, it was Lavalantula. And then the sequel was inspired, which was To Love, To Lantula, and it was perfect.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had
Oscar-worthy.
I never had a script, but I had a title that I always wanted to send to SyFy. So I'm going to just pass it to you if you want to get it to someone higher up. But it was Shockadile versus the Pterodactyl.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Shockadile sounds like a good cereal, too. Yeah. I want my, fruity Shockadiles.
I think you got to get that name to the asylum, pal.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, good talking to you.
It was great talking to you, Ben. I'm excited to see what happens with the Monster Squad footage that you're going to take.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
Keep up all the awesome work. I love the stuff that's coming out of SyFy.
Thank you. I'll keep up my own mediocre work as well.
I'm sure your mediocre work is farther than mediocre.
Maybe.
We'll find out. Are you able to promote that, or is that also PR needed?
PR needs everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I am a PR robot.
All right.
Cool.
Fair.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.